After having Transformers talent write for the show, G.I. Joe writing talent would get a chance, which brings us to Bright Lights written by Barbara Petty. Petty wrote many of the episodes of G.I. Joe where Cobra's plans hit close to home for the Joes, like using their relatives as mind-controlled soldiers against them. She would bring that visceral style to this episode as it illustrates a mother's worst nightmare and then makes it worse. Part 1 opens with a concert by Nightshade and his band. There's a bit of a divide as to whether he's meant to be a parody of Michael Jackson or Prince. I personally believe he's a mix of the two because his persona and design matches the Prince of the time more than Michael, but his song does mention a moonwalk. Whatever the case, Baby Heartthrob is bonkers for the guy and Megan tries to get her settled down. Asking doesn't work, so Lickety Split knocks an ice cream cone on her.
Well, I guess that cooled her down.
Come on, you're stealing my material, Lickety Split, though that means that she's out one ice cream cone. Baby Heartthrob is about half there, but comes up with the idea of getting another, and Baby Lofty and Half now go with her. Megan's worried, but Molly says that they'll be fine. And none of you are going with these supposed babies? What is it with the other show's writing talent and making these characters so brain dead? Around back, the concert crew is packing on the watchful eye of Zeb, Nightshade's manager. The guy's a zebra who walks on two legs and wears a leisure suit. His quote-unquote arms also end in hoofs to make for one strange character design. The fugitive from the 70s eyes the babies, who apparently think the concession stand will be where the band and its staff camp. The three are taken in by Zeb, even though their oil slick's less slippery than him. He figures out these dimwits are fans and takes them to Nightshade, which is spelled both with and without a K throughout the episode. They ask if he'll be performing tomorrow, but he says that they'll be headed to the next stop. And I would think that that would have been in the program. Zeb says Nightshade should give them a tour of the campgrounds, but things don't seem to be on the level. This is made more obvious when Zeb lies to Megan and the others when they come looking for the three, saying that he sent them home. Not knowing any better, they head back to Paradise Estate.
No problem at all.
They went back to Paradise Estate. What? Where's my ice cream cone?
Especially since the concession stand is right there. When Nightshade and the babies get back to the trailer, Zeb asks if they want to be backup singers for the group. Initially they try to one-up each other, but Nightshade gets them to sing together, which sounds a lot better. Zeb wants an answer and they agree to come along. Megan and Molly in the meantime can't find the three back at Paradise Estate, and they have to break the news to Adult Heartthrob and Lofty, who take it as you would expect.
The babies are gone. The babies? Take it easy, Heartthrob.
Megan takes them back to the concert ground, which is now abandoned. She warns that Nightshade took the babies, and that's enough to make Lofty want to go break some heads. However, after the previous week's debacle, Megan decides to mobilize as many ponies as possible would be a better idea. She splits them into teams with Wizard running messages between them. Finally, someone realizes that they can be an army. Too bad it had to be Megan. Back with the band, the babies are practicing for Nightshade and Zeb. However, Zeb hits a switch in his satchel and the thing releases a green cloud that takes the pony shadows. They start to get sicker and weaker as they go through the rest of their song, and Zeb and Nightshade tell them to take a break when they're done. But they realize that their shadows are gone as soon as they're outside. Megan's search party in the meantime has arrived in monsterville, populated by a bunch of human-sized mice. When they ask about Nightshade, the mayor lures them onto a giant mousetrap they have set up in the middle of the street because they can, and pins them. Jeez, Megan, can you lead even a simple rescue mission without screwing it up? Back with the babies, Baby Lofty and Half now start on Nightshade and demand their shadows back. Baby Heartthrob is still in full-on fangirl and tries to defend him, but Zeb's asshole remark convinces them to split. Unfortunately, the rats they have as roadies corner them. And it's at this point you should realize this episode runs on pure nightmare fuel. The rats catch them in a net and lock them in the cage to end part 1. Part 2 opens with the babies in the cage and the search party pinned in the mousetrap, only in a different position. The mayor's pissed because Nightshade had gone through town and the kids who went to the concert are now mysteriously sick, so he's decided to take it out on a bunch of strangers, assuming that they're his friends. Ever thought that they could have been fellow victims, Mayor Dumbass? Megan realizes the sickened kids cast no shadows, even though anyone rarely does on this show because shadows cost money, and figures Nightshade must have stolen them.
That makes sense.
Actually, it doesn't. Your shadow is a result of light not passing through you, though Galaxy actually suggests the missing shadows is only a symptom of some loss of substance. They convince the mayor to release them to look for the baby ponies, but he and the sheriff will come along with them. Wait, you have a police department and your method of detaining people is a giant platform in the middle of the street instead of just arresting them and throwing them in jail? Whatever, let's move on. The babies are still locked up, and so the press they can't even sing. However, Megan and the team have arrived at camp and begin searching. They find the trailer of the babies being kept in, and Lofty bucks the lock open like a badass. Unfortunately, they're too late to prevent Grand Theft Shadows, so they decide to explain things to Nightshade. They sneak over to his trailer and see that he and Zeb are watching a mirror with the mother of all smudges on it, or they're watching smoke. Whatever the case, Zeb grabs his satchel and leaves. Instead of grabbing both Zeb and Nightshade, since they grossly outnumber the two, they all gang up on Nightshade. Though even that's not enough as he slips out. Unfortunately for him, that allows the ponies to use their aerial supremacy to catch him and actually subdue him this time. They're about ready to each take out a pound of flesh, but Nightshade breaks down and claims that he didn't want to do this. He was taking orders from Erebus, the Stormcloud wizard. He has them steal shadows using Zeb's satchel.
You mean the baby shadows were in the satchel he was carrying?
Yeah, that's right.
And we let him get away.
That's why it's standard procedure to detain everyone you can get your hand/hooves on. But the episode needs to continue, so what are you going to do? Nightshade was a singer in a place now called Greyvale, but wasn't getting much attention. Erebus then showed up and offered to help him, which he did. However, it was a ploy to gather a bunch of people and steal their shadows, which he uses to increase his magical power. Nightshade had threatened to quit after he saw what was going on, but Erebus and Zeb explained things at Satchel Point, so he became their puppet. As for why Zeb would zap entire audiences during the concert in the past while he didn't in Dream Valley and instead waited to be lucky enough for 3 baby ponies to randomly wander into the camp and be stupid enough to come along and then steal their shadows is because... shut up. Baby Heartthrob asked for Nightshade's release, which now seems reasonable. Megan also suggests taking the fight to them to get all the shadows back. Oh, and the sheriff keeps being replaced by a random villager. Come on, animators, I know you have your screw-ups, but it's a unique character model that's supposed to be with the group the whole time. They head to Greyvale, which is definitely gray. The place seems abandoned, but the horse-like locals are actually lying in wait. Yeah, we need to take on some more nightmare fuel as the villagers come out of the woodwork, including the grave sites. And are these designs creepy? They're meant to look more horse-like than the ponies, but they look bony in comparison. Their disheveled appearance makes them look like they came right out of a post-apocalyptic nightmare, which technically they really have. The locals eventually show up in a large gang and probably would have been a mess of pitchforks and torches if not for the fact that they have hooves. The whole town chases after the group to the song We're Gonna Make You Sorry, which has to be the angriest song in the franchise. And this was their second choice for a chorus since We're Gonna Kill Your Ass didn't fly with censors, though the terrifying sight of dark silhouettes with glowing eyes and a scowl got through. They corner the group and the Pegasi look like they're ready to kill someone's ass to set up the cliffhanger.
My, what have we here?